What's up, everybody? I am Jay with Guilty of Crime. I just saw a few of you a bit ago, and welcome to the people that just caught a live. Hello, Robin H99. Finally able to catch a live. Good to see you. I just got off of my other stream. Now I'm back on. How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday and happy Thanksgiving week if you're here in the States and you celebrate that. I know I do. What's up, everybody? Blue Plum, Krista, good to see you again. Michelle, how you doing? Stephanie, haven't seen you in a while. Barb Miller, hello. All right, Minnesota girl, you're my savior right now. Thank you. Sometimes I feel like I want to donate to myself just so I can get those super chats up there. Minnesota girl, we should identify Stephen Stearns by his prisoner number only. I'm with you. Give me his prisoner number and we'll try to do that. Throw it in chat and I'll try to throw it up there and say da 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 whatever it is. 1 2 whatever his number is. I agree. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Welcome to the beginning of this episode. Good to see you, Stormcat, as usual. And yeah, we just hit 19,700 and something subscribers. So let's get to that 20K. Love you guys. All right. So today we're going to finish up. Well, I still have more audio, but the two important ones I want to go over with you is Stephanie Soto, Jennifer Soto's sister. Now, if you saw my thumbnail, you saw a picture of her, the girl in the purple shirt. What's up, Ice Princess? How you doing? She's in the purple shirt. She was in the first time we saw the body cam footage from Yolanda's office. We saw Stephanie in the big purple shirt. She was the only other one that called 911. Stephanie and Yolanda called 911 in combination together 3 times. And we finally get to hear what she has to say. What's up from California? How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. From Australia, lots of love. All right. Good to see everybody. So today we're doing that. We're gonna listen to Stephanie's audio. This is the first time I've ever heard it. And then we're gonna listen to one of the main counselors that Maddie had and see what we pick up on, what the counselor says. Now, everybody let Maddie down. We agree with that. All the teachers, all the counselors, the family. But so we're gonna see if there are any red flags, what she's talking about in there. Yeah, I think Stephanie's on meds too, but Stephanie is the number one person that's hiding Jenn Soto. I believe that Jenn Soto is staying at Stephanie's house. So I'm going to speculate on that. In my opinion, she's with Stephanie and Stephanie is like her person that's doing the things for her. She can't go out and go shopping, so Stephanie's doing those things for her. All right, Blue Bella said you can start something used by using an inmate number. I believe that would be awesome, and so do I. I'm all down for it. But first, we're gonna go over a timeline of the case that I think is real important, and I think it will jog your memory on what's going on because this is a monstrous case. All right, Jamie, please do get your payday and then come join. I'm excited for you. Our last members only was awesome. I think everybody thinks so too. It was very interactive and I want to do more like that. So what's going on? Cinder, good to see you. Hit the like button on your way in. If you head out, hit it on your way out. All right. So Stephanie Soto and Maddie's one of her counselors. But first, let's go over the timeline with some key important things that happen so you can remember, because we're going back and everyone's saying, when did this happen? What happened with this? What was that before this? Let's just go over it real quick. Nicole, get a gift. Barb Miller, good to see you. Thank you, Leanne. All right. Yeah, monsters in this case too. There's monsters everywhere. Thank you. Yeah, fantastic members live. I loved it. I enjoyed it with you guys. And Randy B, I wish you would have been there. Welcome back, everybody. Let's start with the timeline, and then we'll get on. We'll get on with the audio. I really, this timeline is necessary since this is such a monster of a case. It's just so big that It's hard to tackle it when you're trying to remember everything. So, timeline. Here's where things stand in the Madeline Soto case. Now, this came out in August 27th. They updated it October 25th, 2024, November, October, and then November. So, we're only about a month out. So, let's say timeline from where things stand 9 months later after this whole thing started. Let's look at the key points, and then we'll get into the audio of Stephanie and the counselor. I believe it's a counselor slash teacher at the school. All right, and we'll see we'll see what's going on. Thank you. Good to see you guys, everybody. All right. Take your notes if you need to, but let's remember this timeline so we can remember the key things that happened, because we're going to have a lot more of this to come. All right. 9 months later. Now, well, 9 months later, had Maddie been pregnant, like many speculate, we're 9 months later. It'd be time for a baby, but that's a whole other story. I don't know about that. I don't think so. Osceola County, Florida. Around 9 months after the body of missing Florida 13-year-old Maddie Soto was officially recovered. There's still plenty of questions regarding her life being taken. Investigators still managed to uncover plenty of details about the case over the past few months, and we know there's a lot more to come because we're still doing FOIAs to get more information. So the investigation continues on who is going to be arrested, etc. But we know where she is. We have Stephen Stearns for capital murder case and the essay. Jenn Soto still nothing. I don't know why. We're also going to get into that a little bit more. I want to get a lady on here that we can go over. We can go over the why Jenn behaves that way. There he is. I'm going to have to put that up there, but you guys can start using his number. I can't do it right now in the middle of the show. Thank you, Diamond Ring Girl. Hello, MM Clark. Good to see you. Somebody else, Ashley. Thank you so much. You guys don't even know how much that means to me. You rock. My phone won't allow me to gift membership ratio, so I found your channel. Thank you. I'm glad you found it, Ashley. Love your picture. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. We have so much to talk about. Oh my God. Okay, let's look at this monster of a case with the monster people that are in it. All right, so day one. Let's start with day one real quick. February 26th is actually day one. Maddie went missing around 8 p.m. after Stephen Stearns, not the mother's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, reportedly dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School. Now, this is 8 p.m. They meant to say 8 a.m. 8 a.m. All right. So early that morning, Soto's mother was woken up when Stearns took the dog for a walk, but she went back to sleep. She never saw Soto that morning. So she never saw Maddie that morning, even though she claimed she did. We go back and forth. At some point during the day, Stearns told Jenn that he had factory reset his phone while trying to update it. Jenn went to the school around 4:30 to pick her daughter up, but she was told that she never came in that day, according to investigators. In addition, Soto's phone was left at home while Maddie had a tendency to run away. They said Soto had a tendency to run away. This was unusual for her. That's weird that they even said that. While Soto had a tendency to run away, this was unusual for her. I think they messed up on that. She did not have a tendency to run away, but I believe this is what they're talking about here was them saying she didn't have her phone. There's many times she forgot her phone because of the ADHD thing. Maddie thought she was nobody. She was so special. I agree. Take a second to say a prayer for Maddie. Moment of silence. Thank you. Yes. I also covered this part one where the search begins, and I gave you a one, two, three, and four. So go back to my playlist and watch that as well. It was a really good boots on the ground information. Yeah, it does say that. It says Maddie ran away, but I don't know what they messed up on there. Maddie never ran away, nor did she have a tendency, but they may be talking about when Jenn says she wants to move out to the woods. I don't know. All right, February 27th, day two. Now we're not going to go day three, day four. I'm going to just go over key points. Orange County, day two, Sheriff's Office issues a release to the public about Soto's disappearance, asking for information and whereabouts. In an interview with investigators, Stern was asked about where he dropped Maddie off and where he went afterwards. Through the conversation, detectives questioned his answers, which prompted him to change his story. And I love that they put all this stuff here because we can go over the interview, but we're not going to. This is the interview from February 27th of Stephen Stearns. All right, day three, he wasn't arrested just yet. They were still looking at him, trying to figure out if Jenn had anything to do with it. The search continued, and Sheriff John Mina said the deputies finally accessed Soto's phone, finding the information that indicated this is where this came from. She wanted to live in the woods when she turned 13 on February 22nd. So remember, y'all, her birthday was February 22nd. She was already 13, and her birthday party was just so that people can come and celebrate on a weekend, even though Jenn Soto didn't show up, or Stephen Stearns because he wasn't wanted. All right, so the deputies searched the area where she was last seen, or where they said she was last seen, and no tips came up. So they got the missing folders. It's at the uh, Peace Methodist Church. However, detectives did receive consent from Stearns to search his cell phone. All right, so now we're on the part where they're searching Stefan's cell phone and they're gonna find the CSAM. So we're now in day three, and there's 304 people in here. Do hit the like button if you like how I present true crime. All right, yes, 222 was Maddie's birthday. Thank you for remembering that. All right, let's keep going. So we're only on day three, and they're looking at Stearns very carefully. Now, remember this. This is the Town Place Suites. This is where Stearns, his father, and Soto checked into a hotel near Disney World because they were doing searches on the house. According to Soto's mother, Stearns was very panicky because he wanted his cell phone back. And while Jenn and Stearns both agreed that investigators were targeting Stearns, she believed it was the wrong guy. Did she or did she not? At some point, Stearns snuck out and drove to Northport for unknown reasons before returning back for the morning. That's a big incident. Deputies said Stearns' parents lived in that area, though Stearns' mother later reported never seeing her son. Now, there's a house, y'all. There's a home in Northport. So as I'm going through this, please try to keep this in mind. Keep it in mind, and I appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you for saying that. Keep this in mind. Look at the visuals as we go through the timeline and get caught up, all right? Because it's just such a big case to unpack. All right. How would Jenn know if it was a guy if she didn't know who did it? Right, Melanie, that's a good question. How would she know what the wrong guy was? She didn't even know exactly what was happening. So listen, y'all, February 29th, Stearns was arrested. How many days is this now? Is this on day four? It started on the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Day four. Stearns is arrested. That was real quick. Stearns is arrested and he's a prime suspect in Soto's disappearance. So remember, the capital murder charges didn't get put on for at least a month later. They charged him for all the CSAM stuff they found on his phone. Here we go. Day four. Okay, so investigators said detectives discovered hundreds, now we know thousands of disturbing images and videos of CP or CSAM when they searched his phone and the Google Drive account. And the review of the data showed that someone had tried to delete the evidence ahead of time. Detectives were able to pinpoint some of the images and videos to the family's home in Kissimmee, court records show. All right, so as a result, Stearns was arrested and held with no bond. He was charged with SA, battery, and possession of child, PORN. All right. So we're only in day four. They've got this guy. They're questioning Jenn. They've done a bunch of interviews with friends, schools, neighbors, people. During another interview with Stearns, they discussed his relationship with Soto's mother and their sleeping arrangements. According to the investigator, he reports Stearns said he typically shared a bed with Soto and her mother. So, Maddie and Jenn claiming that Maddie always needed human contact when sleeping. It's also normal for Stearns to share a bed with Maddie alone. Jenn said she later told detectives that she let him sleep alone because Maddie couldn't get some sleep, deputies said. Now, according to the affidavit for Stearns' arrest, Stearns told detectives he had dropped Soto off in front of the Peace United Methodist Church at 8:40 a.m. on February 26th. So again, we're 4 days later, despite the middle school being farther down the street and classes starting at 9:30. So that gives you a giant overview of 192, right? Meandering down 192 and where he went, Peace Methodist Church, etc. All right, yes, my heart hurts for Maddie as well, and this case got me hooked when I started knowing the details and having a daughter so close to the age. So yes, 192. He meandered down 192. So there it is. There's Peace Methodist and Hunters Creek Middle. Look at how far that is. It's a half a mile. It's 2 minutes away from where the school is. So why would you really think Maddie's going to walk all the way down and cross the Central Florida Greenway toll road above it? All this traffic, half a mile. Detective said that she appeared unusual, and why a license plate reader captured Stearns' vehicle at some point, the details about where and when this happened were redacted from the original report. In addition, the affidavit showed that Stearns told detectives he had accidentally performed a factory reset. Now, the cops already know this point that there's a bunch of CSAM, and they know pretty much while he's doing it. So the Google Drive also depicted CSAM. Investigators added that that they found a photo on Stearns' phone showing a roommate of Soto's mother nude in the bathroom. So this was right away. The roommate said she hadn't permitted him to take photos. There's that picture of the picture under the door. So this has happened early in the investigation. They found that. Now, February 29th, this all happened in 4 days. Stearns' ex-girlfriend comes forward and they interview her. She described a short relationship with Stearns. They had a brief relationship in 2022, but even during this time, Stearns would refuse to spend the night with her. He insisted that he had to stay at Jenn's house because Maddie and her mother couldn't sleep without him. Okay, so there's that room I talk to you guys about all the time. That room that I'm talking to you about is, to me, a room that you would rent out to passerbyers. That's a room that you would film stuff in. You'd film sex stuff and not have anything recognizable. Look at that room. Thank you, Foxy Amazon, for the one guilty of crime membership. That room has a 9mm in the top drawer. There's some boxers. There's just sheets on the bed. Everything's white, and there's nothing really that recognizable. Yes, poor lady. But that's a big tip when you say, hey, I wanted my boyfriend to stay the night, but he can't stay the night. He needs to be with Maddie, this little girl, because she can't sleep without me. But when I wake up in the morning, I have a wood. How do you feel about that? All right. So yes, the room, that is an awful room to me. Nope, not today. Hello from Canada. Prayers for Maddie. Yes. A flop house. Yes. Look at that. And there was 4 locks on it. All right. So now we're shortly after finding about the trio's sleeping arrangements. She broke up with Stearns, the report shows. So girlfriend finds out the sleeping arrangements, says, I don't want anything to do with this. I believe in the interview he did tell her that he was waking up with wood, and she got freaked out. Now, March 1st, evidence released. We know what March 1st is, right? During a news conference, the investigators were confident that Maddie was already dead, having been killed at her Kissimmee home before Stearns moved the body. According to this officer, there was no evidence showing Stearns throwing away the items at the apartment around 7:35 on February 26th, the day she was reported missing. So there's the stuff in the trash. They got the backpack covered in white, and these are actual pictures. All right. So they found the backpack, the laptop, a one white crock that matched the other in Jenn's master bedroom. Everything else has paint on it. So the officers later said they found the backpack, the school laptop in a dumpster. While Stearns had reportedly dropped Soto off near school that day, the detective explained that wasn't the case. And Stearns was instead spotted driving a vehicle with Soto's body inside. Now, I know this sounds terrible, but when you're a true crime person, you kind of want to see the pictures just because you want to get a complete picture of what happened. So I wish that we would be able to see it. I don't know if I want to, but I guess I do because for purposes of investigating, I wish I would see what the officers saw. Yes, 4 locks in that bedroom. What the right? Super shady, flop house, trafficking, all that stuff. Hello, Jory. Good to see you, Jory Johnson. Yes, prayers for Maddie. Stearns' new master bedroom comes with bars, and I'm so glad. Yes, Anna, there are pictures of the locks on the door. All right, so now Stearns' piece of crap car. There it goes. They don't have the pictures here, but there's a picture, a clear picture of Maddie with her mouth open. So they know that they realize that she's probably already dead. We're on March 1st. Evidence shows Stearns returning to the complex and Maddie was visible in the vehicle. We believe she was already dead, they said. So they saw him go in and out. The fact investigators' report shows Soto was most likely killed at her home. I wish we knew what time. Finally, and there's the wooded area, Maddie was discovered off of Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County. That's what it looks like. The wooded area near St. Cloud. That night, a vigil was held in Soto's memory near the middle school. Now, March 1st, now they're talking about Jenn. Investigators spoke to her to update her on the homicide investigation and further interview about her relationship with Stearns. So during that interview, and we're starting to catch up, she called Stearns a master liar and master manipulator. Sometimes she also discussed with Stearns' father, something she told Chris. Now, she initially wanted to believe Stearns was innocent. We all saw this. She just doesn't want him in trouble. After being shown the essay, Maddie giving him a blowjob by the police, she changes her mind, and I'm going to say reluctantly. So there's that interview. You can see that here. You can press play and watch her weepy face as she says, I asked her what she thought about Stefan. Was he guilty? And she said, he's been grooming and abusing my child. An investigative report reads. So she's over there laying down, trying to get sympathy. We know all the stuff she talked about in there. During a few moments of the interview, investigators said she appeared to defend Stearns. During portions of the interview, she continuously protected Stearns. She was questioned about why she prioritizes Stearns over Maddie, and even at one point, she referred to this sex stuff as not evil, but the murder as evil. So the interview eventually ended. We saw this. Jenn didn't show the same level of emotion or care for Maddie about the ongoing CSAM stuff by Stearns that she did about the disappearance. It appeared that she had already accepted the victimization of what was happening, and her emotion appeared fictitious. So then March 2nd, we get into the photo scandal, and we're getting there. Thank you guys for hanging in here. Do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. And thank you, Kawana, for the Guilty of Crime membership. Nancy Jean, thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. Stefan Stearns' new name is 1419688. 14199 Remember that. I'll try to do that. Jojo, I didn't know you were here. Thank you for the Guilty of Crime membership. And thank you all for supporting the channel. All right, we're getting there. What mother asked if she can press charges and change her mind later? Yeah, and she saw blowjobs and sex stuff happening, and she still asked that. All right. So there we go. We're aside from the Instagram account on Osceola share. This was the incident. So this was March 2nd. This was the photo scandal of the officer. Marcos Lopez posted a picture from the crime scene of Maddie being dead at the scene. The clothes seen in the photo are consistent with the outfit Soto or Maddie was believed to be wearing the day she went report missing. I did see that picture, unfortunately. So this has nothing to do with the case. He didn't get any trouble, which kind of sucks, but he apologized for his social media shenanigans. I think he got in a little trouble, but nothing really happened. They removed it and they moved on. All right. They didn't dispute the photo where it stemmed from in the investigation. The executive director shared another photograph of her personal Facebook about it showed her posing with Stearns as he was walking out of the door at the county. Oh, you guys remember that? That she one of the news people posed with Stearns and did this whole thing. They didn't need to do that. Now, March 6th. All right, we're getting there. Released court date showed that Stearns is accused of essaying Maddie for years. Despite Stearns' attempt to wipe his phone, investigators were able to recover files showing the abuse, which stemmed back as far as 2022. I think this is wrong because the abuse stemmed back all the way to 2019, 2020. We're going to have to look at that. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, early Thanksgiving to you guys. Thank you for being here. Let's keep going. No way they posed him. Oh my God. They posed with him. Kalisa Katz is about an eighth of the Kissimmee Police Department is on administrative leave. Something strange is going on there. I wonder what that is. And there's gross. I need a shower Stearns. All right, let's get through this. Upon reviewing the contents of Stefan's search, we're on March 6th, so a lot's happened in a few days. Several images were located which depicted missing juvenile Maddie. Police also spoke with a former acquaintance of Stearns who had met him 3 years before while playing Warhammer. So we remember all the interviews. According to the friend, he was under the impression that Stearns and Maddie's mom were in a relationship, or they weren't in a relationship. So he thought it was odd when he heard him calling boyfriend and girlfriend at Soto's disappearance. So you remember on the news when she was saying, my boyfriend, he really cares about her, Maddie's stepdad. That guy thought it was weird. So we're still on March 6th. We get into Stearns' parents. The detectives then spoke with Stearns' parents. They learned that they disapproved of the relationship with Stearns and Soto. So we know all this, right? They talked about their drug use together. They talked about Jenn taking a bunch of medication, anxiety pills, and that Jenn Soto was a bad influence on Stefan. They also explained that Stefan and Jenn would sleep all the time and it wasn't positive for their relationship, but both Stearns and Soto would suffer a mental illness episode. They would bring the other person down and it wasn't good. Now they're doing verbatim here. At some point in the interview, Stearns' mother told detectives she found a torso. You guys remember that? The sex doll? All right. He didn't have the garage opener, so he couldn't get in when he came back. During the conversation, Chris said Stefan was upset as if he was holding himself responsible for Maddie's disappearance. Now, you remember Stefan went down there, went down to Northport and then met with his father came up, was with Jenn and Stearns. March 7th, we get into the roommates. The detectives talk with their roommates, learning what happened. According to one of the roommates, she heard noises coming from the upstairs bedroom where Stearns and Soto reportedly been sleeping alone in Soto's as Jenn slept. All right, so there's Jenn's room. We're going to see the crock over there. This is not the room where they were together. This shows the downstairs bedroom where the crock was found. So it's weird because in order for her to hear noises, it would have had to been significant based on the noise that would have to travel through 2 closet doors and the hallway. I can imagine that they didn't hear something. All right. Stearns is finally charged on March 12th. He's charged with 60 counts of CSAM, 8 counts of SA, 5 counts of lewd, battery, familial custody, 7 of lewd, lascivious, molest. You know what that is. 40 counts of unlawful possession of depicting SA with a child, 10 or more images. All right, we're almost to March 13th, the best friend. Woo! Hit that like button, y'all. If you like hearing me talk, you definitely hearing me talk today. I wonder if Stearns drugged Jenn to keep her asleep. No, I think Jenn drugged herself. And I think she overdrugged herself. And I love that. Ozarella pig, you say. Yeah, this case is so close to my heart that my daughter knows who Madeline is. Jamila, So does my daughter. All right. No, of course not. No full immunity, y'all. No full immunity. All right. So we're on March 13th. Detective spoke with Soto's best friend. Now, Soto's best friend, who explained the habit of texting her every morning, but she didn't receive any messages from Soto that day. So we're caught up right now to yesterday. Were you here yesterday? If you were here yesterday, I played Maddie's best friend telling detectives that Stephen Stearns would talk to Maddie all the time. He would text her every morning, and if he didn't text her, she was texting her friend, and it was weird because she didn't receive anything the morning that she went missing. Now, here's the picture where we ask, is that throw up, vomit, slime? What is that? All right, so that's Maddie's makeshift room, which was placed where there was a divider. All right, March 21st, more updates. News conference was held. This was the second news conference, and there was not much of a update. It almost looked exactly the same. So they just said they're trying to uncover every single fact of evidence. They don't want to put a timeline on it right now, because the detectives are very meticulous in what they do. During the conference, Holland was asked whether Soto's mom was considered a suspect or not. We're talking about Jenn. In response, they said everyone who was close to Maddie is considered a suspect until proven otherwise. April 1st, April Fools, there's Stearns' computer. Stearns called Northport Police to hand over Stefan's old computer towers he found while cleaning the garage. Isn't that weird? Don't you think he would have stopped to look at it? Don't you think he knew it was there? Anyway, more images of child PORN were found. However, upon examining the computer towers, detectives found it was missing a hard drive. That's interesting. April 4th. Here we are to April 4th. We weren't supposed to find out about the autopsy. It says no autopsy report. Medical examiners announced the autopsy report cannot be released due to statutes deeming it confidential. However, audio from the 911 calls involved in the case was released by Orange County Sheriff's Office. In the 911 calls, two different voices can be heard speaking with dispatchers. The sheriff's office explained that the callers' identities are confidential under state law. That's interesting. All right, so there's the 911 calls. We already know what that is. That is Stephanie and Yolanda. All right, then there's a phone call, April 10th. Deputies say Stearns called his father from jail. You know what you have never wanted for that. So he's saying he never, in this April 10th phone call, this is the first time where we all said, oh, he's implicating Jenn. All right. So he said that he never wanted that for Maddie, and his father responded by saying he hoped the truth would come out. April 11th, the storage unit. His father called the detectives, and they clean out the storage unit. Now, I want you to know that I put those storage unit documents on my Patreon. I was going through my page, and I saw all the documents that listed out what was in the storage unit. Security, love your coverage of this case. Thank you for your dedication. You become my new evening ear candy. Well, thank you. It's much better than being annoying. So thank you. Yes, make sure your memberships are on. We're going to be listening to some audio soon, and I'm going to give some memberships. All right. April 12th, retrieval. Police retrieved items from Stearns' father, including the hard drive and 2 USBs. So now we're on 6 days later, April 18th, Jenn Soto. Police said that Soto or Jenn and her attorney will come in for an interview. So remember, April 18th is pivotal. This is what you guys are talking about in chat about immunity for Jenn. It came out that Jenn Soto had immunity. We're not going to arrest her. She's immune. When in fact, it's derivative immunity. During the interview, Jenn said she had returned home from work around 11:30 p.m. to find Stearns and Maddie downstairs alone in their room. However, Soto was reportedly not wearing the same clothes that were on her body when it was found after death. A detective also asked Soto's mom why she let Stearns stay at their home even after they broke up. All right, so this is April 18th. That's when the queen for the day walks into the police department with her lawyer and promises not to lie. She wasn't even helpful. All right. So Jenn stated Maddie would sleep with the majority of the time she slept with Jenn. And when Stefan began staying there, the three of them would sleep in the same bed. She stated Maddie never wanted to sleep alone in her own bedroom. And she couldn't remember how many times she let Maddie sleep with Stefan alone in his bedroom. She also stated she allowed it because she trusted Stefan and he treated her as his daughter. When Jenn stated that she and Stefan ended their relationship, Maddie had an idea but never spoke about it. Jenn said she spoke with Stefan about possibly moving back to help him get on his feet, but he didn't know if he was going to make it permanent or temporary. April 22nd, another hard drive. Kissimmee police said they found a hard drive in the storage unit. The hard drive since 2020 hadn't been used with over 35,000 images of CSAM. All right, so let's tack another charge. Now, a month later, I told you guys it took them a month, April 24th, a murder indictment comes down and they announced that they indicted Stefan Stearns on first-degree murder. They did it by a grand jury in the death of MADELINE Soto. The evidence shows an individual who was entrusted to keep Maddie safe made calculated moves to dispose of her belongings and place her body in a wooded area before ever reporting her missing. All right, May 14th, a phone call. Stearns calls his father. Now he's obviously in jail. He asks him why he went down to Northport on February 28th, and he said he wanted to grab a few things to prepare himself for what's coming. Stearns' father, when stated he wished he could understand how the situation came, Stearns replied, "I didn't start it." All right, now we're catching up. Listen to the phone call. We can listen to that. We've been doing that. After his father pointed out Stearns did participate, he said, yeah, at no point during the conversation did Stearns deny killing Maddie, police said. According to detectives, they believe that Stearns had gone to his parents in Northport on February 28th and used their Wi Fi to log into Google and attempt to delete the images of videos from the CSAM and all the abuse that he perpetrated. May 16th, we have more updates, investigative reports, and interview between Stearns and investigators. All right, dated back to February 27th. According to one of the reports, detectives interviewed a witness whose name was redacted about the relationship between Stearns, Soto, and Jenn. After showing the witness one of the pictures from Stearns' drive, the witness became visibly upset. New reports show that Google Drive had files going back to 2019. Here we go to June 3rd. Stephanie's back here. These are when the body cams were released from the night she went missing. This is the first time we actually see them in videos, talking, expressions, etc. Right? Man, this is a big case. And yes, we do know. Thank you guys. Thank you. Stay here. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Share. I appreciate you guys. All right. We're going to get on to some audio, okay? So June 10th, they're filing for the death penalty. The state attorneys announced them to seek the death penalty. July 23rd, prosecutors issued a civil summons. Confidential crime scene photos that were released back in March under the Florida law. Images that depicted killing a minor are confidential and can't be released. So as such, Lopez. Okay, so this guy got cited. This is a sheriff that got cited for accidentally putting Maddie's dead photograph on Instagram. All right, he didn't mean to do that. They said August 21st, 911 calls showing the loved ones of Maddie's calling authorities 3 times were released. August 26th, investigative reports were released. Now we're starting to see this. For starters, the report of the official cause of death via strangulation was August 26th. So when we thought we weren't going to get her COD, as a matter of fact, we did get this the COD, strangulation, as the cause of death. All right. And then they also say I don't know how to say that. Sevoflurane show up in the drug test on his phone in the weeks leading to Soto's disappearance. It's an anesthetic that can cause hypnosis, amnesia, and analgesia. I don't know how to say that. September 19th, interviews are released showing the interrogation that took place when Stefan Stearns was falling asleep on the table. 2 separate interviews is the first time. October dates were set for October 14th. That obviously didn't happen. We now know Here you go. Pretrial hearing February 24th, 2025. That's when the CSAM stuff is supposed to come out. And then the homicide case is September 22nd, 2025. So if you guys can remember that, I'll paste that in chat. Stearns faces the death penalty, and we're good to go. Now, here we are, y'all. Let's go. Let me put that up there, and we're going to listen to some audio, and then I can take a break. Did I miss the sister? No, you didn't, Nancy. We're doing that right now. I needed to show a timeline because I really, really, really wanted to catch you guys up on that. All right, so we're going to get into Stephanie Soto, Jenn's sister. Let me get on to the 5 where I'm supposed to be, and I'll put it on there for you. Okay? I'm getting there. All right. Here it is.
Afternoon once everything kind of blew up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I don't come home until from work until like I pick them off and everything. Like 5:30.
And I mean, is there anything concerning or any red flags you can think of in the house that we should be concerned about, or anything that we can use to help find her?
Can you hear it?
The only thing, and it's just because, I mean, your IDs on you.
Can you guys hear it?
Is it a? Could you take it out for me? I don't want to take your whole wallet. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. And
That's as loud as it goes.
you guys from here, or did you just hear about it and come over?
We live 5
We
minutes
live
away.
right here,
Oh, okay.
I'm staying with her.
and I just yesterday we were printing flyers, we were passing them out.
I'm gonna pull you guys into the shape. Do you have a handicap tag?
No.
Okay, you want to move it? Just I don't want anybody to come out that needs it, and we're blocking that.
It's right here. It's already gone.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about any information.
Thank you.
Here you go. Cheers. Cheers, sir. And Stephanie gets phone number for you.
Okay, they're getting Stephanie's phone number. Sorry you had to listen all that, but there it is. They redacted her phone number.
Soto.
It's outside, but Stephanie Soto, it's the first time I've ever heard her. You're about to hear Stephanie Soto. It's coming. I don't know why it got
And how did
timestamped.
who notified you guys that she was missing?
I got home one day afternoon. My mom called me. She started asking me like if I knew
I don't know why.
4:45, 5 p.m. And I was like, and she took me to school and just coming from there and just driving around school, driving around everywhere.
Yeah, we're immediately going around checking.
Yeah, one time I was
aside from Jen and your mom, have you talked to anybody else?
Our families we're staying in touch with all our
We
family.
have a family.
We're sending out any information that we get. We know, but
And nobody's heard from her or anything. Do you have any cousins or anything that she's close with?
yeah, we
or-
have a lot of cousins, but we've reached out again, nothing.
Haven't heard from her.
Yeah,
Do you guys know of any boyfriends, anything like that?
as far
Girlfriends?
as we know, no.
Okay.
She does gaming, so we told
It's on
the
Facebook.
detective about.
Yeah.
We told the detective about like her Roblox.
Right.
I think she has Instagram.
Okay. So
So
you
all
guys
like the
have
known
spoken
stuff.
with the detective?
Very very little, but yes.
She
Okay.
was trying to reach somebody, and what did you call?
Detective Hunt.
Okay.
Just to
Gotcha.
see,
We
and
just want to be kept informed.
Yeah. No.
yeah, I feel like
100%.
we haven't like heard
From,
anything. Like in 2
Yeah.
days, it's been nothing.
Yeah, we are working on a lot of stuff. We don't talk about the process. I know that that's annoying, but we have reasons for that, and
Yes.
we want to make sure that
Thank you.
we do everything 100% right the whole time. Here's my business
Hi.
card. We are going to be here for a little bit. We can't really provide you with more information, but by all means, if you guys come up with anything that you want us to
No, of
know,
course, yeah.
email is probably best because the other number is a desk phone, and obviously we're not there. But if you shoot me an email, it'll come to this phone, and then I can check it. Okay.
How do we go about maybe getting a funding for a reward or something? Maybe
So
somebody saw something and they'll come out and anonymously say, you know what? How
yeah,
do we do that?
if you're trying to do it on a level as like a GoFundMe for the family,
Yeah.
that's something that you
We can
guys
do that
have to do.
privately.
Yeah, we can't participate in that.
Right.
Um,
But do you have anything else?
We're
Thank
working
you.
on our end to see. So there's certain criteria that has to be met for different things, like Amber Alerts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's stuff that we're working on. Unfortunately, it's not up to us, right? Like if we could, we would put one out for everybody because we get a lot of help that way. So, but it is being worked on in the back end. But by all means, if you guys want to
So we can do
start a
it.
GoFundMe, you
I've
can.
already done it for-
I will tell you this. Typically, if we can't stop you guys from doing anything like that, typically the more that stuff gets out into the media, the harder it makes it for us, right?
Oh, no, I
So
didn't think of that.
yeah, sometimes that's how it works. But
So
by
should
all
we
means,
wait?
I can't tell you that. I really can't. It's just what happens with the media
Yes.
sometimes is they put information
Yeah,
out there that's not
Yeah,
accurate,
yeah.
and that can sometimes hurt our investigation. But again, I can't tell you. You guys do what you feel you need to do as a family. We're going to be doing everything on our end for you guys. By all means, communicate with us if you come up with anything. Like I said, we'll be here for a few hours. You have Detective Hunt's information, you have my information, and you can always just call the sheriff's office and say, I
So
need
we
to
could
speak
bug
to
you every
somebody.
day and just
You can
please
bug
give
me
us
every day.
something.
You can bug me
Last
every day.
question.
Mhm.
This is what frustrates me.
Yes, sir.
8 hours. It took us
Yes.
8 hours.
8 hours for what?
The school didn't notify. She'd never.
What
made
is
it.
the procedure for
Yeah, so
school?
I'm not
Which is not-
typically from what I know with Orange County Public Schools, and again, I can't really speak on their procedures because we don't work for them. But it was my understanding that they typically send out like text to parents or something.
At least something or a phone call.
Yeah, I'm
Hey, your
not.
kid is not here the first period.
Yeah,
Why didn't you tell us that she's sick?
yeah, that's something
That's the
that
first thing
you
we
should
do,
bring
right?
up to them. And I don't know if it's an automated system or how that works and how the text messages go out or what Jen may have set up with them. If it like I don't know if some people can choose email, some people choose phone calls, some people choose text. But unfortunately, we can't speak on Orange County Public Schools.
Yeah.
I just know that
We
typically,
gotta find out.
like I
We
was
gotta
just
find
speaking to another parent reference a situation like this, and they got text messages.
Just my thought process is 8 hours.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah.
in Georgia.
yeah,
Already. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But she's
Yeah.
at the port.
Right. Right.
This is the way that I think.
Yeah. Do you guys know anything she would have been upset about or anything?
No,
She was-
Sunday she had a great birthday. She
She
was
had a
happy.
great birthday.
Like she got a whole bunch of gifts. She had a lot of money. She didn't take any money with her.
Right.
Like
spent
if she was
time
like
with me on
trying
Saturday.
to run away.
Yeah.
We were cleaning the backyard. Poop.
Yeah. She
Right.
was
We were
fine.
I have a van that travel. It's right in
Right.
front. They checked it already.
Yeah.
We were working on that, doing little things in there.
Yeah.
And then she helped me with the front yard, cleaning up. She's like that with me. We'll do things. And then I took her to.
And the next one's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
For a Whopper.
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat Whoppers.
Right.
I had a double Whopper. Fries. It's such a fun night.
It was great.
Do you remember who was there at the party tonight?
All our family. We have a big family here.
Friends from school, right?
She had
That's
two
the
friends
day
from
of the
school. They talked to them already.
So family like is you guys aunts,
What?
Aunts, uncles, cousins.
She gets along with everybody.
Yeah, and she had two friends at the party.
From school,
Two
right?
friends.
School, and they were having a blast. They were outside. They went to the park. They came back.
The party was here.
No, it was at my mom's house in Orlando.
Mom,
This was right after, I believe. This was like
Did
right
you
after
go
it
with-
all happened.
To the
No,
party?
I took her and I dropped.
Why
Yeah,
they
that's
ask-
I
the
dropped her
problem.
off.
Yeah.
8:30 at night. I told her, she takes
Yeah.
supplements. I said, take your meds, take a shower. I left, and then
This was right after. Why they asked?
Oh, so
you
she's back here to meet her, or did she go to the party and meet her there?
no, here she got out at like I don't know 10. She had to ask her, but she said she got here around 10:30.
She's a little disabled, like
Yeah.
emotionally type of thing, but you can have a part-time with
Yeah.
Disney and all that stuff. She finally got another job with them because
Yeah.
they're giving the run around. And we have to watch the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and she helps. Stefan is over to help her.
Mm-hmm.
She asked him to come and help her,
Right.
these few days because she was in training and all that stuff. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's tough.
And she
Right.
said that there
So
was
that's
some
why the
days that
reason
she was
she
going to
didn't
get out
take
at
it
1
to school.
a.m. So
She
that's
always
why
takes us to
she needs
school.
to help.
I'm gonna write something on the back of the business card because while you guys can reach out to me, I'm gonna give you the lead detective's information.
Okay, please.
But like I said, if you guys think of anything, please let us know. Right now, we're just in the process of collecting as much information as we can. That's why we're here. We're working in other places as well.
Yes, that was my next question. Like, I know you guys have to cross everything off, and that's
Mhm.
good. What about other
means.
possibilities? Is
Everything's
there-
being addressed. So everything that we can possibly address at this time. There's detectives all over the county and in other counties. I mean, this isn't
Good,
actually
good.
even our county right now.
Yeah.
So we have multiple detectives and law enforcement officers in general, forensics investigators. We're just trying to collect as much information as we can. So by all
Yeah, we
means,
understand.
Yeah,
We just want to be kept.
yeah.
So I will say it's
What's wrong?
there is a it's you might not be updated every single like 5-10 minutes, but there's
No.
there's a lot
I'm
of
not good at
effort
saying
you
that. I
put in.
just want to say,
And-
Dave, hey, listen,
I was with Hunt yesterday,
making progress
and we've
or
been
something.
out since yesterday at I came out personally 3 p.m. and we're still out doing
Yeah.
everything. So
And the other thing is we have to communicate.
Why
We
are they
don't
talking
have
about
the
that?
ability to call everybody
Yeah,
else
yeah,
and give
yeah.
them updates.
Yeah.
So whenever, what I always tell people is, I know you may not hear from us, but literally the second we get updates and information, we will reach out to them.
Okay,
And then they can disseminate that information to you guys as they see fit. But unfortunately, we don't have the ability to call everybody and say, hey, this is what's going on, just because we can only speak. Okay.
Yeah, I just know sometimes like I think about asking them, like,
Questions, and you guys can reach out with questions. I'm just saying we will not be able to call you guys and give you updates. We can only speak to the so yeah. But if she has a question that she thinks of, tell her not to hesitate to reach out to us, and we will answer when we're able to. There are guidelines of when we can do certain things. So, but we're with you
You
guys,
think
and
you'll
we're
be out of here
gonna
today?
do
or-
everything that we can.
it really depends
So
how
we'll
the
get
process
back
works.
over here?
Yeah.
what you suggest that we could do next? Like yesterday, we were out, like passing flyers.
Yeah.
But
Wait, is
Um,
there
Family members, especially the ones that are
She told
closest
me in the
with her,
hotel.
know.
everybody.
Like,
I had to take
hey,
photos with them
the
in the hotel.
second you
Just
hear from her,
upset.
you need to let us
She's
know.
with
so
she's
that
with
we
she's
can,
with Steven?
Yeah, Stefan.
communicate that to
I
detectives,
think his
because
father
at the
came
end of the day,
also.
I came down also to
our
help out.
biggest concern is her safety.
Yeah.
Right? We don't
Yeah.
care about anything else. We don't care. She
I
could
don't
walk
get
up
that
to me
vibe.
right now and be like, "I robbed
don't
a
get the
store," and
vibe
I'd be like,
of him.
"Okay."
Yeah, that's Stephanie is Maddie's aunt, Jenn Soto's sister. And this is right after. This is the 27th where they're still looking for her, everybody. So why in the heck are they?
But the
They're not
less fake information that gets out there, the better it is for us to be able to.
I'd rather do that
assist.
than stay here with them.
Okay.
What about I know you guys did like a search yesterday. What can we do like a search? Like,
so it's best.
that?
It's best that you don't right now because we are continuing our search and we don't. I'm not saying you can't drive around to our favorite places and look if there's anything you think of like that. Yes, but as far as like I don't know, walking through woods or something like that, I would tell you not to do that because we are doing that and we don't want anything to really be like contaminated or anything like that. But by all means, if like I said, if you guys think of something that you think should be looked into, let us know and then we will prioritize based on the information that we get and see what's best for us to do next.
All right, good.
But no, you don't have to stop looking.
I don't think she ran away. Like I don't think she would have said that.
That's that 8 hour difference just kills me.
Yeah. And speak to the school. And do you guys have? Are there other juvenile kids in school within your family?
My daughter, but they go to separate schools.
Yeah, and that's something that Jen may need to speak to the school and just be like, hey, in the future, I need notification.
I hope they're communicating to the other families too. You know,
the school.
Yeah, I can say, listen, this happened here. You got to be aware of what's happening around the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think the information is getting out. I mean, we've gotten contact that the information is spreading. So,
Okay.
And we want that, right? We want as much help as we can get, but we don't want fake information out there, right?
And that the overpass.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. Okay, traffic in the morning with the kids and parents. That's what I'm saying.
We're looking into all of that. Yep. We're doing everything that we can for you guys, and we'll be here with you guys the whole time. Okay.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna get back to it, and if you guys have anything, then please reach out. Okay.
We're only 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
So that was terrible audio. I didn't know that it was as windy the entire time, but that was Soto. That was
Detective Funko, Orange County Sheriff's Office, February 28th, 2024.
okay. So that was February 28th. And yeah, you could barely hear the male speaking. It probably was Juan. There was no Jenn Soto the entire time. But I want you to know that Stephanie Soto actually put the GoFundMe under her name. So when we looked up the GoFundMe, I was told that money went to Jenn Soto. It was supposed to go for funeral services, but yes, Stephanie's the one that was asking right away. Wow, and you heard what she said. If you could hear what she said, she was talking about it wasn't an accident, etc. already. All right, so you guys do what you want with that. I mean, Foxy Amazon, there's really nothing you can do to make that audio better. I mean, if you could if you could get the wind so it blocks, yeah, I don't know how. Maybe email me if you think you can get the wind out of that. I'll happily send it to you, and you could rip the wind out, and we can listen to it again. All right, so the next one is interview with Madison, and that's the school staff / counselor / support. So let's listen to that one, and then we can move on from the audio for a while, since it's very hard to when there's nothing you could do. All right, so that one's at 2:07:23. Let's get to that one. This one's a lot easier. It's inside, and this is right after they weren't asking for money for a reward. They were just asking for money. That's so weird.
Yeah, that goes like 11:30.
Yeah.
Now this really.
All right, so they're going on next. In another minute, I'm going to press play, and it's going to be the school counselor. And I'll try to answer questions with chat, but I don't want to stop it too much because it's a little while. Yeah, so she got free COVID money, free money for everything. Thank you, Tawana, for gifting the One Guilty of Crime membership. I hope somebody gets it that really wants a membership.
Why would he spend nearly 6 hours
Let's see.
driving round trip to go to
Dang.
Northport to the storage unit?
Well,
I mean,
hopefully
we
we
may
be
be
able to figure that out.
Dottie was in Jen's car.
Now, this is the end of Stearns. There's no real markers. The audio's really long. Yeah, Jen's getting her grift on. So they're finishing up with Chris right now. And next is Madison, the school counselor. And I want you to see if you see as many red flags. All right, so he's out of here. We're going to get Madison, school counselor / teacher. Pretty significant interview.
Pausing the recording at 10:15. So surreptitious recording with Mr. Stearns. My name's Corporal Richards. Also 10:12 was, or with me was Corporal Evan Avila and Kissimmee Detective.
Today's date is February 29, 2024. The time is 13:02 hours. It's going to be reference to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Ma'am, could you state your first and last name for me, please?
Madison Brady.
Could you spell Madison for me?
Madison.
And then Brady, Brady?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your birthday?
8/14/98.
Okay, and what's a good phone number for you?
Madison, February 29th. Just
and my understanding is you are.
There's a lot of redactions here, so remember that. Thank you, MM Clark.
We're here today to kind of talk about the situation that's involved.
Thank you, Marcy, for
I
the
have a
199.
couple of specific questions that I have to ask you. But can you tell me a little bit about, like, what you know, your relationship with her is, just any information that you could give me on that?
So I met her at the beginning of this school year in an ESE meeting. She was being transferred over from 504. That she was under that in 6th grade with our 6th grade counselor, Miss Merritt, transferring over at the beginning of this year to the ESE services with our ESE staffing specialist, Miss McGregor. So I was sitting in on that meeting. In that meeting, they approved that switch and she got switched over. I heard a little bit about her background in terms of having ADHD, a lot of problems with focus that affects her schoolwork and grades. And then some mental health concerns in terms of a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. So from there, I have been doing ongoing check-ins with her throughout the school year thus far. I think we've met about, I was looking at it earlier, 6 times.
Okay, since the beginning of the school year?
Correct.
Got it, okay.
When she has come to me, it's often been those feelings of panic. She's come to me like in the middle of class or during lunchtime, just feeling really panicked, kind of heavy breathing, feeling really overwhelmed. And when we've had our conversations about, well, what's going on, what's making you feel this way, I've gotten responses saying, well, it's my anxiety. Sometimes I don't know. I'm just really overstimulated with all the noise in the cafeteria. But I've also gotten responses with, well, things at home with her. And when I pressed about that, it seemed to be things along the lines of, well, she gets upset that I'm forgetful or that I don't clean my room the way she wants me to. And we talked about what that does to affect her. And she says, yelling that makes me get overstimulated and then I can't respond to her in a way that she wants me to. So we discussed strategies for kind of calming herself down and talking. She's calm about how that makes her feel. And she reported to me that she did have that conversation for our past check-ins since December. So December, January, February, we had a check-in every single month. And each of those check-ins, she had said to me, things are better at home. And things are better at school. And I haven't had her come to me in months with any sort of panic or anxiety. I did have her mention on occasion her home situation at that time was
anxiety from Stefan.
That the only thing she really said was, I don't really like him. He's kind of weird. So I said, okay, well, what does that mean? How is he weird? Why don't you like him? And her responses were nothing of that level of concern. It was always, well, he eats all of our food and he hangs out in the living room and it makes me uncomfortable because I don't really like him, so I don't want him to be there. But nothing ever to the level of concern that we're seeing now. And the last thing I heard about him was he's moving out. I'm happy about that, and that's helping me feel better with home.
When was that conversation that he was moving out?
That was about a couple of months ago, so I would say around December.
Okay, so sometime in December, you guys had a meeting, and she said, okay, got it. Did she ever mention anything to you about having depression or like suicidal thoughts or any suicidal attempts or anything like that?
She never mentioned anything along those lines. It was always more so focused on the anxiety and the panic.
Okay.
And a lot of times she wasn't able to verbally articulate what exactly was making that panic arise beyond feeling overstimulated or just not knowing.
Okay. So she never mentioned to you about wanting to hurt herself, wanting to die, wanting to, nothing like that.
She never mentioned wanting to harm herself or wanting to die. She made comments in the interactions where she was feeling panicky, saying things more so like, you know, this hurts and I don't like this or want to deal with this, but it was never anything like I want to hurt myself or end my life or anything along those lines.
Gotcha. Okay. And she didn't disclose that she was taking medication for anything other than just the anxiety or for the ADHD and the anxiety.
I didn't talk to her specifically about medication, and I can't recall what was said. It would be in the ESC meeting notes if it was discussed that she was or wasn't on medication.
And she has an IEP, you said, correct? So she switched from the 504 to the IEP.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Did she mention anything about just didn't like him because he ate their food and he was in their living room? Like, did she say anything else to you, disclose anything to you?
She did not. She didn't talk about
redaction.
asked her about those comments of him being weird and uncomfortable. The only things she gave me were, well, I don't know, he's just a little weird. He eats our food and he's always hanging out in the living room and I don't really want to be around him, and nothing. And the way she said it was so like joking in terms of like, I don't know, he's weird type situation, like laughing about it. It never made me feel like there was a safety concern.
Okay, so she didn't disclose anything about him ever touching her inappropriately or them having any sort of a sexual relationship or them having any sort of an inappropriate relationship whatsoever. None of that was ever disclosed or
anything
brought up to you. Okay. Let me check and see. There's, like I said, there's some other questions that I have to ask, and I just want to make sure that I touched on them. Okay. Did you ever see, I know we talked about like the anxiety and the panic attacks, and you said she never, mentioned anything about being depressed or being suicidal or anything. Did you ever see her exhibit any of those behaviors, like that she is depressed or that she, like, did you notice anything about her that was out of the ordinary other than the things we've already talked about?
It seemed more so to be very up and down.
Okay.
Like she would have those heightened moments of the panic and the crying and just kind of, she would go from that to just like shutting down after the panic. And then if you talked her through it a little bit, like there's one specific instance in my statement that she could not say what was making her feel that way. And so I asked her to draw it out and she was able to do that.
Okay.
And then she kind of put on there just like a lot of scribbles, which to her, she said that meant just like the chaos of all the feelings and thoughts that she's having that make her feel overwhelmed. And then words she wrote. So things along the lines of like, why, or crying and things like that. And after that happened, I reached out that she wasn't at school for a couple days. So I was like concerned of, okay, we went from this to now being out. What is happening? I reached out. And at that point, he's been struggling lately, a lot of tears and feelings, but that she was seeing a weekly therapist.
Okay.
So she supposedly had someone that she was seeing weekly about all of this.
Okay.
And also stated at that point she hadn't been at school because she was sick and she was going to take her to the doctor that day. And she mentioned seeing the drawing that home from our conversation, and I
No.
encouraged her to share that with mom, so she did. And she said that she appreciated that and that helped her in that day, which at the end of that conversation with her, she was able to calm down and feel better. But at that point, that's when it got a little concerning, to the point that I reached out to mom just to say, hey, what's going on? And found out, okay, she at least has supposedly
I can't right now.
therapy sessions outside of school.
And most of these things you said that would trigger these panic attacks or these anxiety inducing issues were because of issues that were going on with them, correct? Like where she would argue with.
Seemed to be a combination of bringing that from home, the arguments and the feeling like she's taking on those feelings at home of, I don't feel safe, in terms of not necessarily physically safe, but emotionally safe, that at me and causing me to feel overstimulated. And then I come to school and it's loud and there's lots of kids and I'm overstimulated again.
But it wasn't.
Poor Maddie.
And things she said along the lines of, my room's not clean, or you forget to do this, or you don't do that. So to me, that's like things about it was never,
especially at that age, with the teenage age, Okay, so how about her grades or her behavior? Have you noticed any shift in her grades or the behavior that she would normally exhibit?
Grades have seemed stable. We've been working on, in our check-ins, kind of coming up with strategies because of her ADHD and in terms of getting her missing work in to bring up the grades. And she seemed to be making improvements with that since around December, when she started reporting things are better at home, at school. Our last check-in was February 6th, I believe. And at that point, she was very happy that day. I called her down just to do our check-in, and she said things are going really well. She feels really happy. Things are better. Things are better at school. And that was the last time we had a check-in.
And that was because of the strategies that you had kind of given her to help her?
Yes, she had been getting some of that work in. Her teachers are working with her because she has the IEP, and she said that she used the strategies at home to talk about the, when we're calm, let's talk about what it's like when we're not calm and how that makes us feel.
Gotcha.
She said she was able to successfully do that.
Good. That's excellent. Okay. I know we talked a lot about,
Maddie's teacher / counselor.
Briefly mentioned with her. And I know you've only known her for a short period of time, but you haven't noticed a dramatic shift from when you first met her to now that's negative. Have you?
Correct. When this first came up, my first thoughts are, oh, things have been better.
It's okay.
So I'm like,
so it's surprising to you, it sounds like.
How did
we get to this point?
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing that would stand out to you that would make you think that something was on, that things were declining at home. You actually thought things were actually getting better at home based on what she was telling you.
From the information that I had from her, without at that point having spoken to friends or anything I had, to me, the perception was things are getting better.
And what was the last date that you met with her?
February 6th.
And that was the date that she was like, hey, things are getting better. We're using these strategies at home and all of that. Got it.
Okay. We were supposed to have our next session to follow up this week. And obviously I'm not going to be able to do that.
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of that I have not asked you that you want to relate to me while I have you in here?
To me, the only things that are sticking are the comments of, he is weird and I don't like him. And I wish I had more information to say where that came from, but when I asked that, all I got was, he eats our food, he hangs out in the common areas.
Okay. All right. Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the time is now 15 hours.
All right, that is the audio for today. All I could take with No, when I look frustrated, I'm actually like upset with this case when I'm just like, oh, why didn't anyone do anything? Why didn't that teacher dig deeper? Artemis Prime says no one was looking any deeper into her behavior or the sadness that overtook her. And isn't that weird that her being happier coincided with Stefan leaving? And if a child tells you that I don't like that guy, he's always in the living room, or he's always present, or I mean, I thought she should be trained. Yes, it's very frustrating to hear this. I haven't heard this Madison interview yet. So when I asked you the question, do you see red flags in this situation? I saw lots of red flags, and I don't understand why nobody dug deeper. I hope that we learn from this case. I hope you guys learn from this case. If you're teachers, counselors, Boys and Girls Club, uh, workers, anything, you interact with children and you hear something. Now, victims usually don't reveal everything, but it seems like she could have. It seems like somebody could have asked her a little bit deeper questions. Yes, lots of red flags. Now, Clara, if you want to send me that picture real quick, I'd be happy to pull it up. I have literally thousands of pictures on my drive of Maddie and the cases and the drawings and stuff, so I can't find that right now, what you're asking me for. But if you email me the summertime sadness pic, I'll put it up for you. Yeah. Kathleen says she needs more education. First clue something's wrong. She's really wrong. She doesn't like him. She seems upset. Yes, crying a lot. Grades aren't good. As soon as he moved out, she felt better. Who didn't see the correlation? And yes, we need to arrest Jenn Soto. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to go over that with you guys soon. I'm going to react. Now, I'm going to tell you, somebody called the prosecutor. Now, you guys are coming back and forth on the channel. So, Gavin Fish called the prosecutor, and we're hearing that they're not planning on charging her. So don't be upset. We're going to get into this. Leanne says because of budget cuts, they don't educate teachers and counselors like they used to. I'm not so sure. Yeah, they do say that. But Artemis Prime, I want to say the pictures that she showed were sexual pictures in nature. It was a little girl giving a BJ to a grown man, and really weird stick figure sexual pictures. So I don't understand how that got overlooked in her binders, in her folders, where she wrote her things for school. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, her grades were poor. I didn't realize she was going in and crying and stuff like that. All right, so Clara, if you don't email me that soon, I'm gonna head out. Monica Olin became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Yeah, like check on your child, but poor Maddie, Flossie, you're right. Poor Maddie. Her mom's only job was to do that. Now, Buster's daddy, go ahead and go back, listen to the interviews, watch the timeline, take a look at the things. It just gives you a good idea of where we are in this giant case. Yeah, I just get frustrated when I hear these things. They were in plain sight and nobody picked up on them. Nobody said anything. Yes, Krista, you took the words out of my mouth. All the signs were there. Yeah, she did. Thankful and grateful. She touched base with Maddie. They were going to have another interview that week, another meeting that week. Yeah, I'm going to be here tomorrow, sweetie. I've got two options. I'm either going to do the William Mozingo case, or I'm going to react to Jenn Soto and the prosecutors saying that they're probably at this point not charging Jenn Soto. Now, I don't know what the base of it is yet, but I'll dig deep and find out. If you guys want me to cover that, I'll cover that tomorrow. If you want me to, just let me know. After you guys go watch that, let me know if you guys want to react to it and whatnot. All right. On that note, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. Hit the like, share, subscribe, all that. I love you guys. And go watch the Collier video so that next week you know what we're talking about when we play that. All right. Love you all. Good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?